Hello everybody and welcome to my first ever video tutorial. Today I want to try to show you how you can make a simple drum pattern consisting of kick, hi-hat and snare on a Hydrasynth. It will be a single patch that makes all three of the sounds. And this is an init patch. I've just given some names to 4 macros, which we're gonna use. And we can start immediately. I want to tell you that I'm not going to cover the simple basis of the Hydrasynth, because there are plenty of tutorials which could be better than mine. So this will be strictly a sound design tutorial. So let's begin. We have an init patch. We can begin from the kick. So let's turn oscillator 1 to a sine wave and give it a very low pitch. And now we want to make a pitch envelope. So we're going to use envelope 1 for this, and we're going to assign it to oscillator 1 pitch all the way up. And now we're going to adjust, all right, I already did it. We're going to adjust the decay, something like 200 milliseconds. Doesn't need to be precise yet. And now, since this pitch envelope is a bit underwhelming, we're going to double the modulation. So in mod matrix number 2, we're gonna assign again envelope 1 to oscillator 1 pitch, but this time I'm gonna assign the mod matrix number 2 to this button. So we already have a basic envelope, but the macro will add more pitch modulation to the sound. Now we're gonna need the amp envelope for the kick. I'm not gonna use envelope 2 because I want this to be a gate for all of the sounds. So we're gonna use envelope 3 and we're gonna map it to, not that, but mixer, oscillator 1 volume all the way up. So now, since the envelope is turning up the volume, we need to turn it down from the mixer. And now we should have something which seems more like a kick. Now what I want to do is I want it to play as a loop, but I don't want to use the arpeggiator because it will give problems later when we make the snare. So what I want to do, I want to map envelope 1 and envelope 3 to a reset value given by LFO1. So LFO1 will be BPM synced to a quarter. And now envelope 1 will be reset by LFO1, as well as envelope 3 triggered by LFO1. So now, yeah, we should have a kick. This will be a simple kick, the simplest one of all, just a sine wave. Now, let's try to make a hi-hat. What I want to do is I want the noise to kick in immediately and go down very fast. I'm going to use envelope 4 to do this, so let's make it short. And also let's make it BPM synced. BPM sync with a decay of, I don't know, 1/16. And now envelope 4 going to the mixer and modulating noise volume. I'm not gonna assign it here because the volume of the envelope, which is source number 4, I want to assign it to my macro. So number 4 will be our hi-hat. What I want to do now is I want it to repeat. So envelope 4 will be re-triggered by, let's make it a vertical match from LFO4, which will be BPM synced. The waveform doesn't matter. BPM synced with a value of, it could be 1/8. And also, now it sounds like this, but if you wanted it to be only on the upbeat, you could put the rate as 1/4 and put a delay of 1/8 of a note. Or, going back to this configuration, you could give the delay to the envelope directly, 1/8. Let's go with this one right now. I want to make the kick a little better, so let's go to Mutant one. What can we do? Let's turn down the hi-hat. This is too much. But if we use envelope one to modulate the Mutant one, maybe depth. This could be too much. This could be it. And also the depth could be a little higher than 0. And it could come instead of oscillator 1 from a sine wave. So we have a ratio we can play with. This sounds fine to me. We can still play with envelope amount. And we could do something similar with Mutant II, something like maybe pulse width. With the depth modulated by envelope 1 again. Maybe a little less dry wet. This sounds fine to me. Maybe the volume of the kick could be BPM synced with a decay of almost a quarter. Let's choose the value before a quarter. Yeah. Now, the hi-hat is a bit too static because it's a simple white noise. So from the mixer, I want to route the noise to filter 2, 100%. And filter 2 can be a high-pass filter. But I want them in parallel, so the kick won't be affected by that. Yeah, this is fine. Maybe some feedback in the Mutant one. The kick is going down too fast, so let's try to adjust the decay curve. Yeah, something like that. Make it a quarter. Now the snare. The snare will be a layer to the kick, and it will be done by oscillator 2, which volume is going to be modulated by envelope 5, the remaining one. So let's BPM sync it, and it will be triggered by LFO 5. LFO 5, which will be BPM sync 2, with a value of 1/2. So envelope 5 now, you should be able to see it, will play every 2. Also, let's make it with a delay of 1/2, so it doesn't play the first time. I'm kidding, it won't play anytime if we do that. So now let's modulate with envelope 5, oscillator 2 volume. This is for sure not a snare. And also this volume of the snare, I want to assign it to a macro. So source 7, macro assign, snare, to mod matrix 7 to the max. Now we want to make it like noise. So we can use a sine wave to begin with. And for this operation, we're gonna use a ton of feedback and a sine wave as a source. So we have a ratio. It doesn't really sound like noise, but I can duplicate the mutant. So now mutant 4 has the same values. We can modify the ratio. It's starting to sound like noise, but I want a different waveform. Just find one that fits. I like this one. Envelope 5, let's make it a bit something like this, with more we can add some low frequencies. Let's choose a high pass. I like MS-20. And let's turn off key tracking because we want a low value for the frequency. And let's find a frequency which can boost some low. Something like this. And this is basically how to create the idea. Then it's a matter of fine-tuning. The values assigned to mutant 1 and 2 as modulations, like this one and this one, which are 5 and 6. I want to assign them to attack macro. So this will be 5 and this will be 6. Let's listen to the kick. I like it like this. Maybe I want even more pitch envelope. So let's assign once again envelope 1 to oscillator 1 pitch. And this is number 8. Let's assign it again to envelope amount. This will be 8 to the max. Now we have more control over it. we can use effects. So I'm gonna start with the reverb. I wanna add the room reverb with a little dry wet, a short time, small pre-delay, a higher tone because the kick shouldn't be affected too much by it. So let's add even low dump. It's subtle, but it's there. And also let's try some compression. Or even a distortion, first of all. With a fairly low tone, some dry wet, maybe not to the maximum. The curve shouldn't be so harsh. And yeah, it's giving some character, but I want to add some more attack. So let's try with a compression. This is, of course, too much. This is the attack I want, so now let's go back with the dry wet. Without. With, I like it. And what could we do next? Maybe some fine-tuning of these parameters. Yeah, this is a better kick to do. We could also try the drive from filter 1 is only affecting the kick and the snare. And please notice that now you can tune everything from here. But what you could do also is turn the voice to monophonic. So now only one note can play. And you could turn off the key tracking for both oscillator 1 and 2. You would have to and now you could play oscillator 3. I wonder if you can turn off note on. Yeah, you can. So let's turn off note on as a trigger from the envelopes. So they will run freely with the LFOs, and the LFOs should be free running. So trig sync off. Well, maybe not. Let's try single. Yeah. This is how you can create a drum patch with also a melody on top. I don't really like this oscillator 3 stuff, but you can do it, so I wanted to show it. And this is the final result. Thank you everybody, and we'll see you in the next videos. And let me know if you want some more tutorials on sound designs. I can do more stuff with the Digitone II or with the Digitakt. So let me know in the comments and see you very soon. Bye guys!